an island bigger than most countries, richer in untapped resources than anyone dared to imagine. And now, the world's superpowers are fighting, quietly, urgently, to control it. Why is Greenland suddenly at the center of a global chess match? And what secrets are hidden beneath its melting ice? Stay with me, because the real battle for Greenland is just beginning. Greenland. The name alone conjures up images of a vast icy wilderness. But Greenland's story goes back thousands of years. The first people to live here were the Paleo-Eskimos, arriving over 4,500 years ago. Later, the ancestors of today's Inuit, the Kalaaleq, settled across the coasts, thriving despite the brutal Arctic climate. Then came the Vikings. Around 986 AD, Eric the Red, an exiled Norseman from Iceland, reached Greenland's shores. He named it Greenland, hoping the pleasant name would attract settlers. Over time, the Viking settlements faded, but the Inuit cultures endured. Fast forward to the 18th century, Denmark began asserting sovereignty over Greenland, claiming it as a colony. By 1953, Greenland officially became a part of the Kingdom of Denmark. However, it wasn't until 1979 that Greenland achieved home rule, and in 2009 it gained self-government. Today, Greenland manages its own domestic affairs, while Denmark oversees defense and foreign policy. As of now, about 56,000 people live here, the majority Inuit, forming a unique culture that bridges ancient traditions and modern Scandinavian influence. Geographically, Greenland is a titan. It's the world's largest island, covering over 2.1 million square kilometers, about 3 times the size of Texas. But here's something interesting. If you look at most world maps, especially those based on the Mercator projection, Greenland looks huge, almost the same size as Africa. In reality, Africa is about 14 times larger than Greenland. The Mercator map distorts the size of landmasses near the poles, making Greenland seem far bigger than it actually is. Even so, Greenland's actual size is still astonishing, and its location is even more important. It sits atop the North American tectonic plate, closer to Canada than Europe, anchoring the Arctic region, a region that is heating up politically as fast as it is melting physically. Due to climate change, Greenland's ice is disappearing at an alarming rate. Scientists estimate that Greenland is losing about 250 billion tons of ice per year, and the pace is accelerating. While this is an environmental catastrophe with rising sea levels threatening coastal cities worldwide, it's also unlocking something entirely new: Arctic shipping routes. Until recently, thick, year-round ice made the Arctic Ocean impassable for cargo ships. But today, with the summer ice shrinking more and more each year, new passages are opening, like the Northwest Passage across the Canadian Arctic and the Northern Sea Route, hugging Russia's northern coast. These routes could save weeks of travel time between Asia, Europe, and North America, massively reducing shipping costs. For example, the route from Shanghai to Rotterdam through the Arctic could be up to 30% shorter than going through the Suez Canal. Greenland's proximity to these emerging sea lanes makes it a prime location for refueling stations, search and rescue hubs, and even new ports. Control of Greenland doesn't just mean access to land. It means control over the future highways of global trade. With the Arctic expected to become ice-free during summers within just a few decades, the race for influence here has already begun. And where there's new trade, new resources, and new frontiers, there's also fierce geopolitical competition. Today, multiple global powers are positioning themselves to stake claims in the Arctic, and Greenland is a major prize. The United States has long recognized Greenland's importance. Since the 1950s, it has operated Thule Air Base, far to the north, a critical radar, satellite tracking, and missile warning station that formed part of the Cold War's first line of defense. If Russia were ever to target the United States with ballistic missiles, the shortest route would be across the Arctic, making Greenland's radar early warning capabilities absolutely critical. Today, with the Arctic's importance rising, Thule's role is once again under the spotlight. In 2019, US President Donald Trump made headlines by proposing to buy Greenland outright from Denmark, a dramatic move that echoed America's historical purchases like Alaska or the Louisiana Territory. At the time, the proposal was dismissed as unlikely and even humorous by many observers. However, after the 2024 election, President Trump's longtime goal of claiming Greenland for America has shifted from rhetoric to official U.S. policy, as the White House is now moving forward on a formal plan to acquire the Arctic island from Denmark. While the feasibility of such a move remains highly controversial, it underscores just how critical Greenland has become to U.S. strategic interests. Meanwhile, China has quietly been making moves too. Chinese companies attempted to invest heavily in Greenland's mining projects, especially rare earths, and even offered to finance critical airport infrastructure. Denmark and Greenland, wary of Chinese intentions, blocked these investments to prevent Beijing from gaining too much leverage in the Arctic. Russia is the third major player. Over the past decade, Russia has been building up a vast network of new Arctic military bases, complete with airstrips, missile systems, and nuclear icebreakers. Moscow considers the Arctic a top national priority, and it views the Northern Sea route as a new Silk Road of its own. In short, owning influence in Greenland means shaping the Arctic's economic future, controlling critical shipping lanes, securing vast new mineral wealth, and having front-row seats, or battleground positions in the next major arena of global competition. And speaking of resources, beneath Greenland's frozen surface lies another treasure: rare earth elements, or REEs for short. There are 17 different rare earth elements, including neodymium, dysprosium, and terbium, all critical for producing high-tech products like smartphones, electric vehicles, wind turbines, and advanced military technologies. And here's the key: almost all of these 17 rare earth elements have been found in Greenland. Specifically, areas like the Kvanefjeld deposit in southern Greenland contain significant quantities of rare earths, especially the ones used in permanent magnets, the type vital for green technologies and national defense. Currently, China controls over 80% of the world's rare earth production. So for countries like the United States and European nations, tapping into Greenland's resources offers a chance to break that dependence and secure a new, more reliable supply chain. But rare earths aren't the only treasures hidden beneath the ice. Greenland is also rich in other critical minerals. Gold. Several mining projects, like the Nalunaq mine, have uncovered high-grade gold deposits. Titanium, essential for aerospace, medical equipment, and defense industries. Graphite, needed for battery production, especially in electric vehicles. Zinc and lead, large deposits located in the north, vital for construction and industry. Together, these resources could turn Greenland into a mining powerhouse, if extraction can be balanced with environmental protections and the will of the local population. Greenland's future is still unwritten. Will it become independent one day? Will it spark new partnerships or even new conflicts as nations compete for influence in the Arctic? One thing is certain: this vast frozen land, once seen as the edge of the world, is now moving to the very center of global power struggles. And as the ice melts, Greenland's importance will only grow. Thanks for hanging out. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Greenland, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss what's next. And if you're looking for cool, unique maps, check out the link in the description. I've got something special waiting for you.